guys ready for part 2 on this? Lanterman's Mill in Mill Creek Park, Youngstown, Ohio. So I'm going to go ahead and get started working on this one. I'm going to probably start putting in windows on that building. I want to kind of do the building first. I want to get the building done and the way I like it, because I may have to start taking things away from the building in order to get to where I need it to be. And if I do the landscaping around it and the ground around it, and then do the building and it gets smaller, I may have to redo that landscape. So landscaping's last. It's going to be a little easier to do because it's a little more forgiving to be able to do that kind of stuff. The building is going to be the toughest part of this whole thing. So let me get you going. We'll turn this camera around and start carving on this part. Well, that took a little bit of time. You can see I've got the overhangs. They're not complete, but I do have, that one's done. I have a little bit more to do up in the corners here. That one's done. Roof line's done. I have the building and the stonework, I think, going down as far as I need it to go to the base there. This side I'm going to have a little bit more in here, but I want to wait until I get the windows in on this side, just so I can see what's happening there. This side, I think I had mistakenly lowered this ground a little too much, but I think I'll be able to get that worked out. This is going to be there is a stone, there's a brick walkway going across the front of this building where you enter. Now, you may notice in some of the photos when I show them that there's some lookout viewpoints made out of deck and what have you, and deck rails and all that stuff. I'm not going to put those in. Those are added for when visitors come to take a look at this place and to go into the mill. Those are added. Those things are all added after the fact, so that visitors can come in and go into the mill when it's open. And of course, that's where the wheel is and all that stuff is inside there. But I don't want to have those on here. I don't want to ruin the look of this by those. I want to make this natural the way it may have looked way back when. So, onward. I'm going to interrupt the carving here for just a second. I did a couple of things off camera. I'm not even sure if it's noticeable or not, but what I did is I've shortened the mill itself. I've lowered it by maybe a quarter of an inch, so it's not as tall as it was. After looking at it and comparing it to photos, it felt like it was too tall and too thin, and I still feel that it may be a little too thin, but I don't want to go too much smaller or lower with the roof, because I'm afraid that I'm going to just get to this point where it's too tiny to do anything. It's already going to be very difficult for me to do these windows. I'm sure you can see that, but that's what we're about to try right now. So here we go. What I'm going to try right now is I want to outline these windows. I want to be able to give the framework that goes around the window, so that when I put in the boards coming across the side of the building, I need to have the ability to make sure these windows look like they're sticking up. So what I'll do is, again, I'll outline these, and that's going to put a little bit of a lower area around each one. Then I can kind of fade my lines into that. So even though this portion is going to be just the same height as the front of the window, it will appear, because it will slowly slope towards each window and hit that frame. If that doesn't make sense, you'll see it here in a moment. Then after that, then I'll worry about going inside each one of the windows and doing each window individually. I'm not going to be putting the cross pieces in the windows. There's just no way that's going to happen. So we'll have to pretend those are there. So let me try this. And I do apologize. I have this itty bitty little tiny bit. It's a Dremel bit. Honestly, I don't know what the name of it is, what the number is, because it came in a kit. So I do apologize for that. If anybody knows what that bit is, I would love to know, because I do want to get another one at some point. I've had this one for about 3 years, and I think I don't use it that often, but when I do, I truly need it. It comes in very handy. So if anyone knows what it is, could you put it in the comments? I would love to know. I will show you once this is complete what I'm wearing. You probably have seen a photo of me in these. They're magnifying glasses for close-up work, and they are wonderful. Not exactly what I expected, but I can work with this. This will truly test your patience. As promised, this is what I was wearing. These things are absolutely fantastic. They make you look like a fool, but I can see everything I need to see. They're wonderful. I think they were like $17 on Amazon. I'll try to find the link and I'll put it down below. Well worth the money, especially if you're doing some small detail work like we're doing here. One thing that, and I'm sure you noticed, we all learned something together here. Doing this, let me get this light a little bit better here. When I started out with the bit that I originally told you was kind of good for this, it turns out it wasn't. You, I'm sure, have noticed that when I went in with there, it left too big of a gouge for me, too big of a deep hole. I should have stopped once I noticed it, but I just stubborn and continued on. Found that using these two bits, I don't even know if you can see them. I'll put them here by my cheek. Maybe that'll show. One is the Carbide, and it's a kind of a flame burr look to it. So I use that one to kind of slope the edges away from those windows, and then I use that very pointy Carbide one to go in and do all that stuff, and then I cleaned up the inside of the windows lastly. I think it looked well. I used my disc, my flapper sander kind of thing that's homemade, kind of cleaned it up. So I'm gonna stop this one right here. I'm sure I have more than enough footage for this portion of it, and I will more than likely do a little bit more today, but near the end there, that is such concentration, and it's you have to go slow, and my hands are starting to cramp up a little bit from doing that, and so I need to relax them for just a bit, come back and do some more. I'm probably not going to film every single window that I do here, or if I do, it's going to get cut out because you're not going to want to see I think there's 30 some windows on here, or 20 something. I'm not going to put every single one of those in there. Once you've seen a couple, you can see what needs to happen. So, you know, next time you come back, I may have the windows done. I'll do some more stuff in between, so you kind of get sort of a time lapse of what's happening. But there we go. This ends this one. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've taken the time to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. I do answer the comments. If you've got questions for me, I would love to hear them. And I want to thank you so much. Have yourselves a wonderful day and enjoy your carving.